recent sale of Victoria's Blue Gum Farm transferred the elite property, staff and bloodstock into the control of Trilogy's Jason and Mel Stenning and Sean and Kathy Dingwall. Despite the sale and the change in ownership, things are carrying on as they always have done, and without doubt they'll continue their success in the sales ring and onto the racetrack. It's wonderful to see Blue Gum Farm, such a big part of the Victorian breeding industry, in the passionate hands of yourself and Kathy, and you know, you have such an interest in the industry and a background as well. To come here, it must be just wonderful.
Oh, it's a dream come true, Caroline. Ideally, you know, when we started looking for a property and we sort of brainstormed it, this was the only property in Victoria we wanted. So that's what instigated a conversation that led us to have multiple conversations with Phil and Paddy and get to an end result, which was great. So we're thrilled. Yeah,
great history too. Obviously the honour board, and you know, we know what's been done as far as being leading vendor for so many years at the Inglis Premier Sale, but also of course on the racetrack. I mean, the history of the racehorses from this place is outstanding.
Absolutely. I mean, there were some numbers put through at the Magic Millions that Julian Blaxland put out that looked at all the horses sold between 2019 and 2021, 3, 4 and 5 year olds, and Blue Gum is at the top of the tree in terms of 18% stakes performers to horses sold through sales. An incredible result off a farm of this size to compete against the big farms, but also to only sell through Premier and be able to produce that result only selling through Premier.
And of course Trilogy, tell us a little bit about Trilogy, because obviously within the Newgate Colt Syndicate with China Horse Club, so you know, big investors in the industry, and now of course you have colts running such as in the Congo, and Jacquinot, you know, now has that Group 1 as well. It's quite an exciting and a huge operation.
Absolutely. I mean, Jason and Melanie Stenning, who are our partners and very passionate racing people, obviously decided to invest heavily. When we sort of started talking about it, we felt that working into some stay in equity was a good way to go, a good safe way to go to a degree, and obviously we've known Henry for a long time. So we sort of discussed things and came to a point where we invested. Obviously that's led us down the path of buying a few of our own colts as well, because we'd obviously hope to make a stay in for Blue Gum. Ultimately, the Colt Syndicate is all about dispersing stay in equity, so we've not got that big cost every year with sending mares out.
Looking at the draft for 2023, your first draft in the new ownership here for Blue Gum Farm, we'll start with lot 323 by Brazen Bow out of Chloe in Paris. And the sire, of course, had Exploring that won the Blue Diamond Prelude. Same cross, of course, the Exceed and Excel there too. And the dam won the Bob Hoisted and is from a great Blue Gum Farm mare, an Innovation Girl.
Absolutely, and a cracking filly to boot. Like so closely related to Ideas Man and Larimer Street, that are probably two of Brazen Bow's better horses, and that have both been sold through Blue Gum. Tremendous filly, yeah, she'll attract lots of attention.
Next we look at a filly, lot 204 by Blue Point from True Connection. So we know the sires, that great European sprinter, Two King Stands and the Diamond Jubilee by Shamadal. And this is a 3/4 sister, this filly, to the Cosette Stakes winner Elite L, and a really strong forward filly, isn't she?
She is, and out of a Bernardini mare. So Bernardini mares seem to be very popular. Blue Point averaged 378,000 at the Magic Millions, so he's highly sought after. And we feel she's a filly that'll sell very well. Lot
613 is by So You Think from not only Florina. The half relation has plenty of ability and sisterhood. Lovely filly with plenty of scope too. The dam's by Macfie, was a stakes winner in France, and of course the Crabtree, Rob Crabtree's brand on for Dorrington Farm.
Absolutely, we've always prepped some horses for Rob, and this farm has. This is our first draft for Rob. She's a standout. She is a tremendous type of filly. Obviously obviously So You Think's just been such a revelation in the last couple of years, so she can only sell well. I mean, she's obviously bred to stay, and you know, we just got to hope Sisterhood comes out and runs in the next few weeks.
Then lot 116 by Lonhro from Shamalia. This colt's obviously by a champion Australian sire who was a Horse of the Year, Lonhro. The dam won the birthday card, the Fireball in Sydney. She was an elite mare by Shamadal and has already thrown the stakes winner Nanagui, plus the multiple winners Twist of Fury and Noble Beauty. But a really speedy type, an interesting colt, this fellow, and a determined soul. He really does what he wants, so that'll suit him down to the ground when he gets into a tough race.
And just the right sort of Lonhro, in my opinion. Like he's not too big, he's not too long through the rein. Really looks a fast early running horse.
Next is lot 539 by Brutal from Little Indian, a colt from a Not a Single Doubt mare, a November foal and a half brother to the Edward Manifold Stakes runner-up Typhoon Titmus.
Yeah, and the grunt 2-year-old out of the mare, Akasita, has had 2 trials for 2 wins. Obviously been turned out. Robbie Griffiths trains. Very promising horse. So ultimately the mare is doing the job, and this is a great specimen for Brutal for his first season. Like, we're very bullish on this horse. He's just so strong and so forward.
Lot 190 by Rubik from Testy Sue. Obviously Rubik has been having a fantastic run recently. Jack and I getting the Group 1, but also Glint of Silver winning on the same weekend, so more to come there. Yes, yes, yes. His son, his yearlings have been selling so well, and the family of Not a Single Doubt, so you go back through that great Easy Date family. A 5-time winner, the Dam, and the colt's a half-brother to Freedom Escape, so another forward, strong type in the draft.
For me, he's one of the nicer colts. Like, he just sets himself up to be a horse that could run early, very much, you know, in the mould of his father, and you know, we're very excited for what he can do, because just has that innate strength in him to, you know, through the forearm and so on, to be a very early horse.
And then last but definitely not least, lot 499 by Zoostar from Jester Jingle. This is a half-brother to McNeil Stakes winner Bruckner, who was second in the Coolmore Stud Stakes as well. And it's been a great family for Blue Gum Farm in the sales ring and on the track. But there's just such a real presence about this guy, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, he's a pretty special type of animal, always has been. Even talking to Philip about him, he's very excited about the horse, obviously. When you look at him and the relaxed nature of him and just the way he moves, he's just so special. He's rated very highly all the way through with the sales companies and so on. Obviously, his brother made $725,000 as a yearling, so he's going to be well looked at. He'll be well looked at by the colt syndicates, by everybody. So yeah, we're pretty happy to have him in the draft.
And of course, you know, the staff, a lot of the staff have stayed on, Wendy and Samson, and we see some of the other yearling staff staying on, and it really is an exciting time always, this time of the year heading to Premier. But for you personally, and Kathy as well, like, to actually have this draft and watch this all sort of come into being, it must be just so rewarding already before they even get to the sales ring.
Oh, it is. We're incredibly fortunate to have kept all the staff. That is part of the property's history as well. They're all long term. In relation to the draft, their ability to just keep going and keep moving through what has been sometimes a difficult time with change has been fantastic. And yeah, we're quite excited to be on the ride and get them to the sale and get them through.